Step into the Trademark, your go-to podcast for everything marketing in the trades. Hosted by award-winning industry marketing experts Sarah Ghirardo from Remarkable and Eric Thomas from Rival Digital. Together, we're here to unite the worlds of trades and marketing, bringing you insights, stories, and strategies from the heart of the industry. Whether you're a trade professional, a marketing expert, or somewhere in between, this is the place for you. Listen in as we're here for the big ideas, the game changers, and the everyday successes. Because at the Trademark, we're with the trades and for the trades.
What's going on out there, everyone? We are the TradeMarke Podcast, a podcast that focuses on marketing and operations in the trades. Super excited. I'm your host, Eric. Alongside me, my trusty host, Sarah. Sarah, hi.
Hi. How's it going?
Great. We're here at AHR Expo 2025 speaking to approximately 60,000 people.
Right here. Wow.
Right here listening. Thank you all for attending. Woo! And the crowd went mild. Today we are interviewing my good friend, the internet sensation himself, Mr. Derek Cormier from Climate Experts. Derek, how are you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being on the show. I have so many questions.
What's the icebreaker question?
Icebreaker question. In honor of us being in Orlando near Disney, if you could be any Disney character, which one would it be and why?
Can I go Marvel? It's Disney now.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I go Wolverine. I like that he can pretty much heal from anything. It's pretty badass.
Yeah, that is solid.
Oh, I was going to say Donald Duck.
That's still pretty badass.
No.
Yeah, well, yeah, Donald's solid.
He's
I like Don.
My favorite.
I like
my
Don.
dad can do.
What about you, Eric?
I like Don. I would. Ooh, that's a great question. And I think I would probably go Sully from Monsters Inc.
Oh,
I think that's Disney Pixar. Still counts though.
That's
It's
fine.
Disney. Yeah. Or maybe I would go Stitch. Stitch is kind of like a little chaotic, a little wild, a little rough around the edges.
Yeah.
Stitch.
Okay.
I like that one.
Stitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Derek, tell us about your business. Tell us about your business here in Florida.
Yeah, so we do HVAC, plumbing, electric. Started it in 2016, one truck, just me, and pretty much doubled every year from there. This year, we're budgeted to do 10.5, but we should do around 12 million. And we do residential replacement, no new construction, and we're having fun.
Yeah. And so what's the biggest opportunity that you see in the area of Florida that you service, which is what area?
So we service Melbourne, Florida. I'd say the biggest opportunity is there's a ton of humidity here in Florida. So we have a lot of issues with like bacteria growth. So dehumidification is huge, variable speed. The biggest issue that I see happening right now in our area is just people aren't replacing ductwork when they should. 90% of all duct systems are undersized and not installed properly. So we really hyper focus on fixing the ductwork first and then focusing on the HVAC system, on the equipment, because that's the lungs of the system. If that's not right, it doesent matter if you put in the fanciest 20 SEER, it won't work properly.
Yeah.
What are some things that y'all are doing to like get ahead of that and educate the homeowner about the ductwork and everything?
It really comes down to our inspection process is, extremely regimented. So every technician that goes in the home goes in the attic, and they don't want to.
Yeah.
They're like 150 degrees and they're tiny and they're dirty.
Yeah.
We make every single tech and project manager, those are our comfort advisors, go into the attic and we check the insulation, we check the ductwork, we have photos, we have videos. We also check static pressure at the equipment. That'll tell us if it's undersized.
Yeah.
Or if there's any issues going on with it. So we have checkpoints in place that helps us catch those issues so that when we come to you with, solutions and options, it actually will solve all of the issues, not just one thing.
Yeah.
So
Nice. So you have a checklist that your technicians go through and ensure that they follow the process through each and every call.
Right. And we have a debrief process with our dispatcher. So a technician, a project manager cannot get their next call until they call into dispatch. And dispatch will look over those photos. They'll do a debrief on the phone. They'll go through the checklist. If it's not done properly, they will not give them their next call. A lot of companies that are big on efficiency let the technicians do a lot. You can just fill it out in Service Titan. They can just cookie cutter checklist that and get to the next call. And what I see typically is they're just beating the system. They're not giving the quality that they need. So at some point, you still need a human. We use a lot of AI, but at some point, you still need a human.
Yeah.
So you use a lot of AI. You want
Yeah.
to tell me what you use? I'm like, an AI
I love that. I
enthusiast.
love that we're getting to AI this quick.
Well, I mean, he said
Love
it.
Yeah, you said it, not us.
Yeah.
But now there's no turning back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so Nexstar put me in the magazine for adopting AI early. We're a Nexstar member. So we were on Rilla really early. So we use Rilla. You guys have heard of Rilla?
Yeah.
So obviously that records the sales calls so we can really identify, are they doing all the steps on the checklist of the sales process? Because that's literally going to lead to higher close rates, higher average sales, better customer satisfaction. So we focus on Rilla, but we also focus on AI at the office with management. And we use a software called Fireflies.
Nice.
And it records all of our meetings. It transcribes them. It'll even have the AI coach on there where you can say, okay, was the meeting mostly positive, neutral? What could I have done better? And it really helps the quality of one-to-ones, performance evals, our L10 meetings. And I think we over-focus on the field and sales, but we don't focus on leadership and management. And those are the most important people in the organization that can really affect a lot of people. And that's why these cultures in the trades are typically pretty bad.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. And then you were saying something, oh my God, I was going to talk about AI right then and there when he said
Fireflies?
it's about Fireflies.
I love Fireflies. We use that for, similar, just recording calls and transcribing it, coming up with action items. And also for training purposes, you can actually kind of tell, like, it'll tell you, like this person spoke 60% of the time, this person spoke 30% of the time.
And how did you implement it? How did you implement Rilla into your systems and processes? Because, there's an adoption that you need from your team. So how did you go about and do that?
It's funny. I just had a call with another contractor that was having a difficult time getting his team on board with it because they're like, oh, you're just recording us to listen to us and babysit us.
Yes.
And that's how most technicians and sales reps feel. So you need to show them what's in it for them. And what's in it for them is they have access to the AI where they can self-coach. They don't need someone in a ride-along, ruining their lunch with them all day, coaching them. They can have the self-coaching on every single call. So, and then if you look at the statistics, the people that follow the processes on Rilla typically have the highest close rates and the highest average sales. Like it's real statistics. So if you show them the statistics and you actually get them bought in of how this is going to make them more money, they're just going to do it. And what we do is we integrate our best practices into Rilla. So they have like 13 checkpoints. Rilla's AI is going to automatically make sure they do those things. So asking if the truck's parked okay, asking if they asked for booties. Did they talk about intro for themselves of who they are to get trust? Because if you just walk into the door, they don't know how long you've been in the industry. If you know what you're doing, are you certified? And then company story, what makes you different? Most guys don't do that. They're like, where's the equipment? And then obviously we have checkpoints in place as well to make sure they price condition along the way as well. And all of those things lead to a higher close rate. So you got to set up the technology right to work for you. A lot of people are like, oh, Rilla, it's great. It's plug and play. It's not.
Yeah.
You need someone to set it up properly and you need someone to manage it properly and then to utilize it. And then you need buy-in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The buy-in is the toughest part, typically, it seems.
Is the buy-in incentivized? Because at the end, they win no matter what. But how did you get the buy-in at the beginning? Like that, I guess, just telling them that they win.
So it was partially that. Some people will respond to that. Some people need a little push.
Yeah.
So we created a batting order for who got the best calls. And it was based on their average sale, their close rate, and how many sales they did each day. And we based it on the previous week and we included Rilla on that. Rilla usage. Yeah. So their percentage of Rilla usage would count towards their batting order. So it was a little bit forceful, but it worked because they finally started to use it because they didn't want to get, the worst calls. And they saw it work and then they used it and they're like, oh man, you were right. At first it wasn't like that though.
Yeah. And you always want to hear about the first pain points, right? Because that's, in the end, yes, your conversion opportunity is going to increase. But in the beginning, they're just like, where's the money, right?
Yeah.
Where's the money, honey? And creating a process, it's not just for the sales teams, it's for the CSRs. It's for everyone to, it's in the entire customer journey that needs to be talked about because it's going to be a team effort, right? Now, I love your company. I've been watching it on social media. I've been watching how you've been growing, but I really want to know the backstory. So what did you do before this?
Yeah, so second generation contractor. My dad was a GC, general contractor. So I grew up from a young age working in the trades, tile framing, every part of new construction. And then after graduating high school, he's like, I want you to take over the family business. I said, no way. So I became a cop, I was a police officer in Hollywood, Florida, pretty rough city for 5 years. Didn't really love South Florida living there, like being a cop. Came back home. The pay was half. I said, all right, maybe I go back to school. Went to school for engineering. While I was there, I worked in HVAC in the trades. Loved it. Saw a lot of people not running companies great. So I saw an opportunity to start my own company. So that's kind of the fast forward story.
That's pretty cool. A cop to HVAC. What's the difference?
I mean, I see a lot of police officers do well in the trades, typically because they're gritty, they're resilient. The trades are tough, man. Like you got to be good with your hands. You got to be able to work in rough conditions. And I mean, people don't respect you. Like people think you're dumb, plumber's crack contractor. So, you kind of have to be, an engineer and then someone that's really good with their hands and an installer and a sales rep. And like you have all these things in one, but that's why I liked it, because it's like not a lot of people do it well. Mm-hmm. So if you don't have a lot of competition, honestly, with doing the work right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how is your area? Is it like saturated, or I'm learning Florida contracting?
Super saturated. So we have tons of competition as far as companies go, but as far as like people that do the work right, not a lot of competition. So
there is no competition because you guys are the climate experts.
That's right.
Pretty much. I mean, I hate to brag, but I mean, it's just our mission statement's doing it the right way no matter what it takes. And a lot of places don't even have a mission. It's just like make money and keep going, show up on the job. Yeah. So, I mean, it's easy to kind of be the shining star when really no one's trying to do more than the bare minimum.
Well, I've always found that Florida's tough because there's so many, gosh, I hate to, there's so many chuck in a truck type companies. And, you see it in Florida, like you're driving down the roads, fully installed, $4,000, fully installed, $49.99. How do you guys not only differentiate yourself, but continue to stand out with that type of competition where you've got a lot of undercutting as far as price goes?
It's a great question. So, there's a lot of low bidders out there. They don't know how to price themselves right. So they're just basing their pricing off competitors. And so how we differentiate ourselves is education. That's what's different than us. Like we will inspect more, find more, and we're going to educate the customer so that they feel like they know what they're doing. We're not trying to hide anything. So one of the big parts is breaking down what a homeowner needs to look at when they're buying a new system. What's important? What are the things that they're going to be paying for? So it's not just the equipment. We sell the brand. We sell how it's installed. And typically, if you look at our bid versus our competitor bid, they're very different. It's not equipment for equipment. It's not 3-ton for 3-ton. It's we're increasing the return size. It's we did a heat load calculation, so we put a bigger size in. It's we're sealing the ductwork to make sure that the duct system's installed properly. So we're typically doing things that aren't even on their bid because we're not just going in there doing what the homeowner asks us to do, which is just give me a quote for a new system. We're like, no, let's just look at everything first.
Yeah.
So we go in the whole home approach. We give them a quote that fixes all of the issues in their home, that has options, that has a Band-Aid and a fix-all. And we include a minimum 5-year labor warranty on every single install. Most contractors that chuck in the trucks, it's 1 year. Typical AC repair, broken coil, $2,400 to $4,000. If that happens in year 2, they might have quoted $8,000 for a new system. We're at 12. You already spent more than you would have with us.
Yeah.
And you have the peace of mind that you're not going to spend any money. So I think that the differentiator that we put in is that we're actually solving all the issues and we're including things that are going to protect the homeowner in the future. This is a 10 to 12 year investment. This isn't a one-time buy all.
Right.
You need to maintain this thing. It's going to break. Like this thing runs almost 24/7. This isn't like a car where you can go get an oil change once a year and you drive maybe 1 hour a day.
Yeah.
This is something that is a 10-year investment that they're going to spend money on, but they need to understand that this might be their first HVAC purchase.
It might be that. I think that's a big point too. And in the Florida area, there's a lot of property managers. There's a bunch of different types of people
it seems
buying.
like it's different in every market.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. What's Melbourne look like? Is it
homeowners?
Homeowners, snowbirds?
Yeah, great question. So I love Melbourne. I grew up there, and it's not like Orlando, big city. It's also not like backwoods where there's not a lot of people there. So we've got a lot of engineering firms there. So a lot of engineers. So our people really need to know what they're doing.
Know what they're
They
doing.
really need to know
Everything.
Like I'd probably say 25% of our clientele are engineers, and we have NASA. So In our county, Brevard County, we service all the guys that work at NASA, Cape Canaveral, SpaceX. So those are our customers. So we really need to be on it with our processes. So 25% engineers, probably 50% working class, middle class. And then I'd say the other 25% is retirees, seniors that come here to retire. So we do have a lot of homeowners. I wouldn't say it's a lot of people that have vacation homes. There are, like, right on the ocean, those high rises have some of those, but a lot of people own their homes in Melbourne. It is super saturated with contractors. There's not a lot of large PE groups in our area. There are some, but no one that really kills it and does it really well, especially multi-trade. It's mostly you just do HVAC.
Well, now that they know that you're there.
True.
That's right.
Watch out. Yeah, the PE groups, they are in Florida, but they're more in like south.
Tampa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So my favorite thing to talk about is marketing. I love talking about marketing. And I know that y'all do a bang up job with your marketing. Let's talk about marketing.
Let's talk about social media.
Let's start with social media.
Where did you come up with the ideas for your social media? Who is your marketing person? Is it you? Is it your geniusness?
It's mostly me, but
Love that.
let me just send the caveat. My ideas go a little bit too far sometimes. So I have my executive assistant, Angela. She is amazing. She's a badass. She helps out a lot with marketing. So she does all our organic social. She puts me in check and says, hey, Derek, you shouldn't post this. So I come up with a lot of the crazy ideas, and we go to the team. I mean, they know we're constantly making videos every day. So they're like, oh, I got this great idea. And we kind of just group brainstorm it. But the difference with us with social media that I think a lot of contractors make a lot of informational videos, which is great. That's awesome. I mean, it shows you know what you're doing, but it tends to get boring. And if I'm on my phone, if I'm on social media, I want to be entertained.
Yeah.
I want fun stuff. So it's like, and people will spend money on entertainment. You'll go to Disney and you'll drop $5,000. It's not a logical decision. You just feel good being there. It's like, it's emotional.
Yeah.
So it's like, I just want to entertain people and then to remember the brand. And then I'll have a strategy for informational videos as well so that we get some SEO in their value.
I'm saying that for Eric.
What's the...
yeah, he gets those.
Yeah.
What's the... what... I love the entertaining side of things. Like there's really, Gary Vee always says, like, really with content, it either needs to educate or entertain. That's it. If you're not doing one of those two things, then it's just a waste. You're just putting noise out there. I love the entertaining stuff. So what are some of the ideas that got shot down?
Mm-hmm. You can say them. This crowd is wild.
Yeah, you can say them.
Well, most of the ideas that get shot down. So I'm consistently on there looking for what's trending.
Mm-hmm.
And typically what's trending are risque videos where maybe there's some inappropriate dancing happening.
Yeah.
And those are typically the videos that I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like kind of getting people out of the status quo. That's like typically my mission, is to kind of show people what's possible. Like, innovation is one of our core values, and we're always trying to do things differently. That's why I'm here at the AHR, because there's people here with innovation. I want to be around people that want to do things differently and better and adapt and evolve. So, and of course, there's things in the new generation that I might not be comfortable with, but I'm still going to adapt. And like, if that's what they're doing and they want to dance and have fun and, like that's their vibe, like I'm going to get into it a little bit. But there was a few videos where maybe they were a little bit too much raunchy dancing, and they said, no, Derek, people won't take you seriously.
Yeah. Social media is so interesting to me. Like, we have a TikTok that I post to sometimes. I'm terrible with it, but it's funny because I'm always talking about TikTok, but I don't actually post on it that much. I just watch it. Anyways, for a little while, I was going like pretty hard on TikTok, like posting what I thought was helpful, good content, and it would always get nothing, And then I posted a video of me throwing away my old desk chair. So I took the chair and I like rode it to the dumpster, picked up the chair, threw it away, and then just got a new chair and I was spinning around in it, and it got like thousands of views. I was like, that was so stupid, but it was funny because it was like just dumb humor, but that got the views.
Yeah. Well, I think sometimes like we take our brand so seriously, and so boring.
Yeah.
It's so boring. It's like, I'm a fun person. Where did my fun go inside of my brand is how I feel. And like, I know some brands that are super fun, but like Morris Jenkins. Love talking about Casey because they're so, like, she's wild and like in the best ways, right? They have a race car, an ice cream truck. Like, she will have her team in rompers. And like, that's the heart, that's the way that you stick into people's minds. One time she graffitied her own billboard and like made the guy a pirate. And the news called her and they were like, we just want to know, how do you feel about the graffiti on your billboard? And she was like, oh, I just, that's just such a shame. She did it. I was like,
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
yeah. So I love seeing your social media because it's so fun. And it's so vibrant and it's so new. And I wish that more people could get away from the rigidness of, okay, well, this is your HVAC unit and it operates this way. And this is how we're going to loop and tube it or whatever. And
Yeah.
because it's like, as a homeowner, like, first, I'm on social media to be entertained the majority of the time.
Right.
If I need to learn something, I can Google search or TikTok search and find a video for that.
Yeah.
So you can have both content and both are SEO searchable.
Yeah. And I genuinely mean this from the bottom of my heart when I say that literally no one cares how often they should change their air filter. Like, I swear, everyone's posting like, oh, did you know your air filter should be changed every 30 days or 60 days, depending on how many dogs you have. Like, I don't care. Show me a video of Derek in a wig dancing.
Yes. How many wigs do you have in your office? Like, what is the costume?
I have a lot of wigs.
A lot
of wigs. And, so we do paid ads as well. And so we partner with a couple other companies and we'll do strategy meetings. And we overcomplicated the social media in the beginning where we did like full out production. And those videos actually did not do as well as just like the real raw, like videos we made ourselves. And so, yeah, we learned from that, people, if it's too overdone, it looks like a commercial.
Yeah.
And that's not what you're looking to watch on social media.
Yeah.
You want to watch real content made by real people. So, once I learned that, it got a lot easier. We were able to post way more content. But yeah, no, we've got a lot of funny costumes. I mean, all different types. I've got, my favorite one was I did one of the typical contractor in Florida where I had these really short, ripped dungaree jeans and had a mullet. And it was my favorite. The shirt had something about your wife will love me when I fix your HVAC unit or something like that funny. So it was just my favorite one for sure. And I was pounding out beers by the condenser. So
It's funny.
it's just real. And you know what? That might not necessarily get me a customer today, but you know what? I've gotten so many hirees, recruits from my social media.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And they'll tell me, hey, I was between you and 3 other companies, and because of your TikTok, because it's real, we went with you. Like, this generation, Gen Z, doesn't care about 5-star reviews as much. They think they're fake. They're going to go on your socials. They're going to go on your TikTok. They're going to see what's really happening at that company because people are doing more research, and we've hired tons of people just because of our social.
Yeah.
Google doesn't even care about how many 5-star reviews that you have now. They just
delete them.
They just make up a number.
Right.
Make up and like, oh,
People are freaking out, dude. I'm laughing because I don't really care. Like I said, like they're like, oh, we lost 30 reviews. I'm like, if you are so reliant on Google,
yeah,
like then you don't have a good marketing strategy if that's your only place to get customers.
What's crazy about the review thing is that like every single source of information about anything related to Google has confirmed it's just a bug with how many are displaying. You didn't actually lose them. And you still, every day I've woke up there, I lost another 100 reviews last night.
Yeah.
It's like, cool. I don't care.
It's like, but it doesn't, we used to go down to the point of like, well, how do I get to a 4.7? I need 2 more reviews to get there. And I'm like, could we do something else? Could we care about something else?
Yeah.
Because like, it's about the customer, the experience, not about them leaving us a 5-star review.
Yeah.
Like, reviews are important. Don't get me wrong. But when it becomes that's all we're going after, then you've strayed away from your values. You strayed away from your core values, your company.
Yeah. I mean, reviews are, it's great to get reviews. I'm not going to sit here and say that you shouldn't get them. But like the real reason that people obsess over them is because they want to show up more in the map pack. They're like, well, if I get a lot of reviews frequently and often, I have a better chance of ranking. But wouldn't you rather someone just search climate experts and just go straight to your website rather than be like, AC Repair Melbourne. Okay, well, they have a 4.8. They lost 100 views last night. I'm not talking to them. It'd be way easier if they just search climate experts.
He's right. I mean, if they know your brand and you have good brand equity and they're just searching for climate experts because they know we have a mission, we care about our community, they know we just do good work. They're not doing the research, because if you do the research and there's 100 companies that all have 4.9s and it's a numbers game, like that's just a game I don't want to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good to say. And that's good to hear from an owner, right? It's
Yeah.
just a game that I don't want to play. It's numbers. And like,
Yeah.
that's not enough.
Yeah, and to your point, most people these days don't believe reviews. Like I don't believe, most of the time I don't believe reviews.
Well, that's because we're marketers and we know like the spam that we put out into the world.
Yeah,
right?
especially on like products, like online products, like on Amazon. I believe Amazon a little bit because it'll be like verified.
No way. People get paid to leave Amazon reviews.
But on Amazon,
Legit.
But on Amazon, you can at least verify the purchase based on the account. So you can tell that way. But like on random e-commerce websites where there's products with reviews, I'm just like, yeah, that's bullshit. That's not
Yeah.
real. Like,
So you're taking your SEO up to a next level with Eric.
yeah.
Tell me about it. Is
I
it
mean,
SEO? What
yeah,
are we-
we got on board with one of the best companies, Rival Digital. So
Let's go.
I mean, we'll be the best in our area very shortly.
Yeah. What did you do to evaluate these vendors?
So
That's a great question.
that is a great question, and you asked the right person, because I over-research everything I do. I probably have almost demoed every marketing company in the trades
Wow.
out there. And I don't talk negatively about anyone individually, and that's just not my vibe. But what I look for is results. And I've seen so many contractors just give out real feedback of where they're at with Eric and his company. And that's what I'm about. Like, this industry is small enough that, we should be helping each other out and stop this competition game. And it would make the industry so much better if we supported each other. And that's why I joined a best practice group. And there doesn't need to be a specific one, but
Yeah.
I'm on the social media groups where we collaborate, and I just kept seeing Eric's name and Rival Digital and real results posted and SEO results and, real charts on there of where the SEO went from now to then. And I've seen him post real content about knowing what he's doing. And I got on a call with him, and I can tell immediately if you know what you're doing or you're just blowing up smoke, and if it's just a sales pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had to learn marketing. I had to learn SEO. I had to learn organic, local citations, all this stuff. I had to learn it, because if you don't know really what you're doing, there's a lot of marketers out there that will take advantage of contractors and just rack the budget up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then, like, if you don't understand the plan properly, you don't have the capacity, and your CSRs aren't answering phones quickly, and your booking rate's low, all those great leads that they're bringing you, you're not actually capitalizing on them. You'll never run them.
Right.
So you're just wasting money. So I wanted someone that was in the trades and they were focusing on the trades and it was important to them. And I wanted someone that knew what they were doing, and then obviously integrity. And I, met with Eric and I knew it. And that's why we went with him.
I like it.
I love it. Thank you.
Yeah. I always tell people that it has to align to your values, because everyone asks me, they're like, who would you pick as an SEO provider? And I'm like,
Something we
interesting question.
typically ask folks is, we'll ask them, like, is this a decision that you're trying to make today, or are you evaluating your options? And if they say, like, I need this done ASAP, it's like red flag. We don't even work with them, because those are those are the people that, like, I need leads right now. But it's good, because I believe that folks need to evaluate their options within any type of vendor you're vetting. It doesn't have to just be marketing. It could be, best practice groups, CRM, financing options, whatever, call by call management software. You need to weigh your options, because you need to find the one, not just that's going to get you the results, because I think the results, like that's a baseline requirement to paying a vendor for something, is their results of their service or their product, but also to make sure that it best aligns with the needs of your business overall and your core values and where you're going. And it's, sometimes you'll see folks that they'll get all like rah-rah on Facebook about a particular thing, and they're like, well, the results are great. And it's like, yeah, but the guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah, you nailed that. I mean, there's a lot of hype men in the industry, unfortunately. And I'm very careful about who I associate myself with just because, that's your reputation.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there's a lot out there like flashing the Rolexes and the Ferraris and all the stuff that they have. And that's not what I'm about. Like, I'm not here to build a company and sell to PE. I know that, and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that.
Right.
That's a different value set than mine. Like, I've got my kids and, my family, and like, I just want to create a great life for them. And I want to create a great life for my employees. I want to get the trades to a better place. Like, I want people to respect HVAC techs, plumbers, electricians like they do doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's my goal at the end of the day. And like, you cannot believe that. That's fine, but you have different values.
Yeah.
Like, I don't believe this should be a flip, like a house. We're going to flip this house and sell it. Like, this is a house I want to live in.
Mm.
And another thing I'll say too, when you weigh your options and you find folks that align with you with values, then the negotiating powers become a little bit easier too. Like, for example, Derek was like, "Can we do month to month?" And I was like, "Absolutely." Like, sure.
Yeah. It's a little
Because-
scary to enter month, but at the same time, it's good
It's
because
scary, but I knew that I aligned with him, and I was like, I'm comfortable doing month to month because I know that we align, and if there was a serious issue, there would be a chance for us to resolve it, and make it right.
yeah.
And I understand the reason why month to month is scary for a marketer, because you need to put a certain amount of time in to a campaign to actually make sure it works.
Yeah.
And some contractors have unrealistic expectations. Like, I want leads today. I want to be number one. It's not possible.
Yeah.
It's a long-term strategy, any marketing that you do. Nothing's immediate. And if it is immediate, it's the typical Angie's, stuff that doesn't really work, and they're low quality leads. So, I understand that. So I said to Eric, I said, hey man, like, I'm going to, commit to this, but I want to just be month to month in case this really doesn't work out. Then we can part ways appropriately. And, with that being said, he's like, yeah, man, we don't want to lock someone in that isn't a good fit. And I mean, I think Service Titan did that in the beginning where they just would lock you in and it would piss people off. And they're like, and now you have people that hate you or they're just going, and you don't need that. Just let them go.
Yeah.
Just let them go. And I think now they're doing a little bit better about like letting people out.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's never good.
Yeah. But month to month is also, it's a commitment. Like you said, it's like, okay, you have to put in the effort to make that work for you in that month. And with any tool that you adopt, it's about the effort that you put in. I think business owners forget that. And I come from the trades, right? I know implementing a new system. I know implementing it's a thing. And every time that there's an update, there's a process behind it. I got to tell my team, like, I get that. But, and the month-to-month commitment, I appreciate, because as a marketer, that I can set up my budget and I can know what I want to do consistently. But also, I evaluate you every month.
Yeah.
Like, there is no time that I don't know what my SEO is doing, what is happening with my PPC vendor, what is happening with my social media vendor if I have it. And I measure backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
And it's not that if they fail 1 month that I'm going to cut them.
Yeah.
That would be silly. But I'm going to evaluate over time.
Yeah.
And look at the numbers and say, does this make sense? Does this not?
I've found a psychological thing along with the month-to-month thing too, where when someone's in a 12-month agreement and things get a little dicey, they immediately start thinking, I got till August.
Yep.
Now, instead of saying, let's fix this, they're thinking, God, I got to wait 5 months until I can get out of this contract.
Yeah.
So that's where the month-to-month thing's kind of nice psychologically, because it's like, you can go anytime you want, but like, let's fix this first if we can.
And the previous company that I was with, and I mean, they were an amazing company, but we just didn't fit values-wise. And not even like values of like they were bad people. It's just they weren't as aggressive as me. Like, I'm growing 50% every year. So I need a vendor that's on these calls like, all right, let's look at the best keyword data. Let's shift this. Let's get this going. And they were just kind of like, we'd sit on a call and be like, all right, Derek, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
And I would just run the show. And I'm not a marketer. Like, I didn't go to school for that. I'm not doing that every day. I understand marketing. So I wanted someone that was going to be on the team with me. Like, this is what we need to do, Derek. This is your goals. This is where you want to go. This is what we're going to do. I need this from you, Derek. Like, we need to get this done.
Yeah.
And they just didn't have that energy. So it was time to move on to somebody that had that.
Yeah. And you have to look for vendors that are innovating, right? And I talk to Eric about this all the time. I'm like, what are you doing with AI? I was like, I know it's really hard and you might be crying at night sometimes because your job is coming for you. But in all honesty, SEO is changing.
It's changing. It's evolving.
Like, at this very second. It's by the second of the search. And so I always ask him, I'm like, what are you doing? Tell me about it. And so anyone that I talk to about vendors, I'm like, look, SEO is not going to be SEO anymore. It's going to be a little bit different or a lot different. And you need to ask your vendors, where are they implementing AI? Like, how fast are they moving? What does innovation look like? Because I would never partner, and I can say this honestly, with anyone that was just like, yeah, we're going to create 300 pages of your website. You're going to have like this.
We're going to do 2 blog posts a month.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, that it's crazy that for so long that was the deliverable. Like it was so formulaic where it's like, okay, you're going to get 2 blog posts and a service page. And we do that stuff, of course, but that's just a supporting feature of the whole shebang. It's a supporting cast member for the show. Gosh, I love AI. I wish that we could sit here for a little bit longer. We got a little bit of time left. Derek, is there anything that we haven't asked that you thought maybe we probably should ask that you could talk about and provide a lot of value about for our listeners?
Yeah, I mean, you both just mentioned kind of adapting to the changes that we have happening in the world and the industry. And that's, I think, one thing that I'm pretty decent at is change and adapting. So, and a lot of people, talk negatively about Home Depot and, so we have 3 Home Depot stores. I've been on it for about a year, and dude, it brings so much business to us, and we don't make less money on Home Depot. We build that into our pricing structure. So everyone's like, oh, Home Depot, you don't make any money. No, you do if you set it up properly. But Home Depot is like spending millions of dollars on marketing, getting customers into Home Depot. So whether your economy is good or bad, people are still going into Home Depot. Yeah. So we've got that on track. And then I call it the 3-legged stool. So if you're on HVAC only and that's your only trade, that's a 1-legged stool. It's wobbly. It could fall over. Seasonality. There's a lot happening in the industry. What if equipment shortages happen? So I added plumbing. Now it's a 2-legged stool. Now it's a little bit more stable. Now there's no seasonality in plumbing. So, and then the 3-legged stool is electrical that I just added on this year. So now I have a really strong base of a business that can support each other so that I'm not just struggling with that one trade. Now, when we're in the home for HVAC, guess what? We're in the home for plumbing and electrical. Mm-hmm. Now we're in the home for plumbing. We're in the home for HVAC and electrical. We get that on our service plan. So guess how much money we spend for marketing to those other trades? $0. $0 to get in that home for those other trades. Now we just print money at that point. And I think what happens is, we hear all the negative stuff on social media and guys are like, oh, no, never add another trade. It ruins your original trade. Never get into Home Depots. And people will just spew all the problems that they have, but they just couldn't figure it out. Look for someone that's figured it out and then follow them. Do a shop visit with them. Yeah. And I guarantee you, they probably are successful with whatever that thing is. Don't just listen to people that aren't successful in that. That's not good advice.
Yeah.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah. I think cross trading is incredibly important, but also acquiring customers in businesses as yourself to help grow, right? You don't have to do it all. You can acquire someone that does electrical. You can acquire someone that does pest control because what's next? You want the whole home, right? And you can just buy that customer list. You don't have to buy the cogs or the inventory but you might because of all the things going on. You just make different decisions that will elevate your brand, right? But the acquisition thing, everyone's like, oh my God, they're $168 million. I'm like, yeah, because they bought businesses, right? Yeah. Their one business might still be doing this amount of money, but because they have now 8, they're $168 million.
Yeah, I think the thing on Home Depot was really good.
I think so too.
I've heard a few folks, and they're Next Star members as well, that are like really getting into Home Depot, and it's so smart. And Costco. I don't know if there's Costco's like near you, or if
there is. I tried to get into them. I couldn't. I would.
Dude, Costco is if y'all can get into Costco, that's a slam dunk because they put the trades right by the door to leave where that long line is because they have to verify your receipt. And I asked the person there from Buds, which is a local company near us that was in Costco. I was like, how many of these how many appointments are you booking a day? And she's like, we're booking a lot of appointments doing this every day. And there's
because there's perceived value.
Yeah, and when you're in Costco, you're already spending money. Like you're already shopping, and so
and buying dumb stuff.
You get to the register with like your hot dog and
giant Pikachu toy,
and you bought a new drone and $800 worth of groceries, and now there's a whole home generator, and you're just like, $59 a month doesn't sound so bad. I've already spent $1,600 today.
Yeah.
There's trust in the brand. You're using that brand to your advantage. Like Home Depot, like you buy anything like a tool and it goes bad, you bring it to Home Depot, they're going to give you the money back immediately. So they have a ton of trust in that brand. And I mean, when we do Home Depot, it's on a Home Depot contract. They're warranting it. So like people just have so much more trust. So guess what? You can sell that at a higher ticket.
Yeah.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, Derek, as we begin to wrap up here, appreciate your time and joining us and providing so much value. I know you want to get back to the expo. Any last words of wisdom or parting advice you'd like to give for our listeners? Maybe someone that's just getting started out, wanting to grow their business.
So your business is going to grow as fast as the owner or the leaders grow in the business. So if your leaders aren't growing, if you're only training your employees, your business is not going to grow very fast. So I highly recommend that every owner, every leader invests money, significant amount of money in training themselves to be a better leader, to be a better manager, so that their employees feel like this is someone that, practices what they preach.
Love that.
I love that too.
That's really good advice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, where can our listeners find you online?
I'm on TikTok, on Instagram, Facebook. It's at Derek Cormier. LinkedIn, same thing. They can go on LinkedIn. My email is derek@climateexperts.com. If you ever need any advice, we do shop tours. If you guys ever want to come check out our shop, it's fun. You can see our big mascot, Chili. We get in the suit sometimes and do some fun stuff.
Nice. Okay. After this, we're going to get the hip thrust from you two. We're excited.
You have to
we're ending this
do
show.
it too.
Yeah. That's all, folks. Thank you for tuning into another episode and for hanging out with us here at HR, all the 60,000 people standing here listening to us. Thank you. Great.
Thanks.
And now Sarah's going to hit thrust.
Yeah.
Sarah's going to hit thrust.
And that wraps up another episode of The Trademark, where we bridge the worlds of the trades and marketing, one story at a time. We can't wait to see you next time. Thank you to the trades for giving back big, loving big, and taking massive action. Don't forget to join us next time for more engaging conversations and innovative ideas. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review and share it with your colleagues and friends in the trades and marketing. Your support means the world to us. Stay connected with us off the air by following us on social media. We'd love to hear your thoughts and get your feedback. Until next time, keep making your mark in the trades. Thank you for listening to The Trademark. Goodbye for now, and remember, we're with the trades for the trades.